Hey guys, happy Halloween! I'm excited to make my first video for Halloween, especially since I'll be making more spooky related content. Today I wanted to talk about the history of why we carve pumpkins and why we trick-or-treat. The spooky faces haven't always been carved out of pumpkins. This takes us back to Ireland. They originate from an Irish myth about someone named Stingy Jack. He essentially tried to trick the devil so he could get money. Upon his death, he wasn't allowed into heaven by God, but the devil didn't let him into hell either, likely because he tricked him, so why would he want him there? So Stingy Jack was only allowed to roam the earth for all of eternity. Upon hearing about this legend, people back in Ireland would start to carve turnips, putting demonic faces onto them to scare away Jack's spirit. Irish immigrants that came to the US carried this tradition with them and moved on to pumpkins instead of turnips, because pumpkins were native to the areas that they migrated to. The next question to be answered is how jack-o'-lanterns became associated with the holiday. Halloween is based off the Celtic festival of Samhain. It's spelled like Samhain, but I've heard that it's supposed to be pronounced like Samhain, which is a celebration in ancient UK and Ireland, marking the end of the summer season and the beginning of the new year on November 1st. It was the belief that during the seasonal transition of Samhain, the souls of those who had died during that year traveled to whatever otherworldly place they were sentenced to after death, and other souls would return to visit their homes and family. This kind of makes me think of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, in Mexico, where their loved ones come back to be with their family for the holiday. Around the 700s, the Roman Catholic Church moved All Saints' Day, which is the day celebrating the saints of the church, to the date of November 1st. This would mean that All Hallows' Eve, what we call Halloween now, would fall on October 31st. The original traditions of Samhain stayed, like wearing disguises to hide yourself from the souls wandering around your neighborhood. The folklore that I mentioned previously about Stingy Jack was incorporated into Halloween, probably because he himself was a wandering soul / spirit, whatever, so we've been carving pumpkins ever since. During some of these Celtic celebrations surrounding Samhain, villagers covered themselves in costume disguises made of animal skins to keep these spooky visitors away. Banquet tables filled with offerings were prepared, including food that was left out to make peace with these unwelcome guests. In the following centuries, people started to dress as ghosts as well, including demons and other creepy creatures, performing pranks and foolery in exchange for food and drinks. This odd custom is known as mumming and dates back to the Middle Ages. It is thought to be like the predecessor of trick-or-treating. Now by the 800s, Christianity had spread over into Celtic lands, where it slowly began to blend into and replace the older pagan rites. Then in the 1000s, the Christian Church assigned November 2nd as All Souls' Day for honoring the dead. Celebrations in England resembled Celtic ceremonies of Samhain, consisting of events with bonfires and masquerades. The poorer people would visit wealthier families' homes to get pastries that they called soul cakes, which were exchanged for a promise that they would pray for the wealthier family's dead loved ones. They called this souling, that was later adopted by the children that would go door to door, asking for various gifts like food or money. In both Scotland and Ireland, young people took part in a tradition called guising. It's dressing up in costumes and accepting offerings from numerous houses. Instead of promising to pray for the rich people's dead loved ones, they would sing songs, recite poems, tell jokes, or perform some kind of trick to earn their desired treat. That would usually be fruit, nuts, or coins. In modern times, all that we grew up with, it's primarily for candy and costumes that consist of princesses, superheroes, something stupid or funny, scary clowns, etc. It's not about prayer or being rich or poor. All classes of people or any religion or background participates. It's more about having a night to be whoever or whatever you want to be. And of course, kids love candy and playing dress up. Even adults do. I mean, I do. As we get older, we can appreciate the darker sides of the holiday as well as the history behind it. So that's the brief summarized history of pumpkin carving and trick-or-treating. I'm sure there are other traditions and stories I might have missed. I'm curious to know what your Halloween traditions are, or if you want to share a bit about any Halloween ghost stories that happened to you in the comments down below. Also, anyone watching this that's on TikTok, please tag me in any spooky or haunted TikToks. I love watching them, real or not, but I want to find good ones to use for my channel, like the reaction videos or whatever. I'll probably find some of my own to start with, but I want to know what scares you guys and what kind of stuff you like to see. I love watching CJades and Loey Lane react to the haunted side of TikTok. They are two of my go-to spooky YouTubers. I'll put my TikTok on the screen, but I don't really make videos there, but who knows, maybe I will in the future. As of now, I prefer YouTube. But anyways, that's the end of my video. Have a happy and haunted Halloween.